Good Monday morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for this Monday, February 8th. Taking a look first at precipitation over the past 7 days, you can see on the left-hand side very light amounts, just a trace to less than a tenth of an inch in that first shade of blue, with at least half of our region not getting any precipitation at all. And looking on the right-hand side in terms of percent of normal, you can see that we're below normal for a good portion of Idaho, northern Utah, northern Nevada, a little bit above normal across southern and central portions of Nevada and Utah. I'll look at the upper-level satellite imagery with upper-level maps superimposed. You can see that our weather pattern will be dominated by a huge ridge of high pressure centered across southern Oregon, pushing all the way up into Alaska. We are on the outer periphery of it, so over the next couple of days, we'll notice this high pressure gradually sliding to the east. As it does so, not only will we stay high and dry, but also a big decrease or worsening in overall air quality and air dispersion with low mixing heights and also very light overall winds. So we'll take a look at overall dispersion with our ventilation index for this afternoon. And you can see what stands out is this large purple area, which is our lowest value of ventilation, which incorporates both vertical and horizontal mixing. A little bit better further across southern Utah and parts of Idaho, but not too much. And that's what we'd expect as high pressure approaches. If we take a look at how we break those things down into its components with transport winds on the left, you can see overall these gray shades very light to near calm transport flow. The exception will be across far southern Nevada, and you can see vertically mixing heights also very poor across most areas. The exceptions across far southern Nevada and extreme southern or southwestern Utah. Now if we look at the map for tomorrow on the left, we see that high pressure starts building on in right over us, so it shifts to the east, and so as expected on the right hand side our dispersion gets progressively worse. These purple areas continue to encompass most of our area, and breaking it down into its components again, on the left transport winds fairly light, even weakening a bit across southern Nevada, and very poor overall mixing heights across most of our area except for the extreme southern portions. And by Wednesday afternoon, you notice the pattern stays basically the same. High pressure ridge centered across the Great Basin. Then on the right hand side, overall ventilation or dispersion very poor, given by the purple shades. And looking at the individual components as we go over to transport winds on the left, again this gray shade very light, even down towards the Vegas area where they had some of those enhanced orange and red areas with stronger localized winds a few days before. Those have since calmed down. A bit better transport flow across parts of southern and central Idaho where they're closer to a change in the weather pattern. We'll look at the Utah Clearing Index. This is a product similar to the ventilation index that's produced by the National Weather Service in Salt Lake City, and overall very poor dispersion today. So, you have to go way up high into the Uintas to see somewhat better overall dispersion, and it just gets progressively worse as you go into Tuesday and Wednesday. Taking a look at how much precipitation we're expecting for the next 3 days, you can see for us not too much at all. There's closest is a frontal system that starts working its way into the far Pacific Northwest towards the end of the period. So taking a look further down the road as we start with Thursday afternoon, high pressure ridge still centered across the region, lots of dry air. There is that front now pushing into Oregon and Washington. The big question will be, will it have enough strength to buck this ridge of high pressure? Until then, you can see that our overall dispersion is poor with these purple shades. It starts improving a bit across far western portions of Nevada in response to some of that frontal energy moving on into the Pacific Northwest. We'll see if that can actually push on through. We'll go to the next day, which will be Friday, and you can see that that high pressure ridge still holding pretty firm. The front starting to weaken. We still have lots of purple shades through here, still overall poor dispersion. And as we go into this upcoming weekend, finally on Saturday, we see this high pressure ridge buckle a bit further to the south and get pushed off a bit further to the east. A weak front now pushing into the far northern Great Basin, and you can see in response now where shades were purple, we see more red and yellow pushing it into Idaho and also into the western half of Nevada. Still poor dispersion as you head to points further to the east. And as we head on into Sunday, just as we get rid of one high pressure ridge, we start seeing the next one build on in, and we see overall that dispersion actually improves a bit across Nevada, still hanging tough here with poor overall dispersion across most of Utah, but it starts improving across Nevada, especially southern areas through there. And as we go further on into seeing the precipitation expectations, not too much overall. Again, we'll see that precipitation confined to the Pacific Northwest. This will be from Thursday morning through Saturday morning, and a bit further down the road, Saturday morning into next Monday, perhaps a bit more getting into past the Cascades and into portions of Idaho. That'll be the next weather change, but until then, our overall dispersion will remain quite poor. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, this is for next week. You can see that we're still expecting above normal temperatures, no Arctic cold air to be found. Precipitation starts getting wetter, so we start seeing a change towards wetter conditions from the Utah, Idaho, Nevada border on northwards, so that'll definitely bring a better overall dispersion up through those regions. Also some rain or snow, remaining drier than normal across our southern areas. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day. Our next briefing will be coming up this Wednesday morning. Have a great day.